Welcome back to Drive Driver Driven. I'm Humble, and today's a little bit of a different topic. A bunch of people have asked, and it's been a bit since the last update, so I thought I'd just post a quick update on my health, how things are going, and where things are headed. So for those of you who don't know or weren't around for what happened last December, I was hospitalized with heart failure. Rewinding a little bit, the cause of that is a disease that I have called amyloidosis. Amyloidosis is a disease very similar to Parkinson's or Alzheimer's in that a protein folds in a specific way and it begins to sort of collect or get stuck in different tissues of the body. So for like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, that might be the nervous system or the brain or specific parts of the brain. For amyloidosis, that's typically your heart, liver, kidneys. It can affect the nervous system as well. It just depends on which strain you have and what particular fold of the protein you get. In my case, in my family's case, we have amyloidosis ApoA1 or apolipoprotein A1. Normally, amyloidosis kicks in when you're about in your 60s, which means that's when you really start to see those proteins start depositing in tissues, and you don't really start seeing health effects until maybe late 60s, 70s, etc. And by then, most patients are late stage, and the complications from amyloidosis begin to stack up with other things that are going wrong. So there currently is no real treatment, and there's no cure. Now with my amyloidosis with apolipoprotein A1, our strain kicks in double time. So it kicks in our 30s instead of our 60s, and it begins to present health problems or side effects in your late 30s, early 40s. That's the underlying cause of my heart issues. From one side of the family, I was given amyloidosis, apolipoprotein A1 or ApoA1, and from the other side of the family, I got a different kind of heart disease. The two stacked up together, and I went into the hospital with heart failure and basically was given a pacemaker, had to shed a bunch of water, shed about 20 pounds of water actually, was in there for about a week, and then had another 2 to 3 weeks recovery time. So that sort of brings us to January. Since January, February time frame, I've had to double down on healthy living. So that's the no frills, no gimmicks diet. So low sodium, basically everything has sodium in it. So I have to eat less than, I have to keep it between 1,000 and 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day. That's about a tablespoon to half a tablespoon of salt for all your food all day long. Which doesn't leave a lot for flavor. We have picked out a number of recipes that can be made without salt or low sodium, and if there's any interest in those, I can share those for those of us who are heart patients or might be on a low sodium diet. I've also had to double down on exercise, lots of cardio, lots of riding. That's mainly what I've been focusing on. Is when I'm not working on the car, I'm actually out riding my bike, and I tend to do like 50 to 60 miles per week. I've been trying to run longer stints, so during the weekdays I might do a 11 to 12 mile sprint to try and go as quickly as I can, and on the weekends I might do longer rides which are more about endurance and 20, 25 miles. If there's any interest, I can show basically my various steeds, my bikes, what I have been riding, if there's any interest in that. That kind of leads us to sort of the bad news of my situation. As I mentioned before, there is no cure, and I already have shown signs of amyloidosis in the tests that we've run. So this is things like ECGs, things like MRIs, which allow us to look into the tissues of the heart in the various tests. What we're seeing in the performance of the heart is a degradation of how well it pumps because of enlarging of the heart, amyloid deposits in the walls of my heart, which lead to a cardiomyopathy, or hardening or stiffening of the heart muscles, not allowing it to relax and open as much as it needs to, and it also doesn't contract as easily as it used to. So that leads to inefficiencies in the blood pumping. So us car guys, what we consider that is a volumetric efficiency loss. So basically the efficiency of my heart isn't pumping as well as it should be. I'm on medications to lower my blood pressure, to kind of open up the veins and arteries, allow the blood to pass more easily. And some of that is like beta blockers, which don't allow the adrenaline function to work quite as well as it should, or things that would naturally make the heart pump faster or harder, or have a delayed response. Other downside is it's not just affecting my heart, but it's also in my kidneys, and my kidneys kind of get it from coming and going, really. They were damaged by the time of high blood pressure. They were damaged by the amyloid disease itself, and there is a collection of amyloid in the kidneys. And they're also being damaged by the medications that I'm taking for my heart. Things like water pills, which force you to lose water through specific means. Those all hurt the kidneys, or can hurt the kidneys. The last bit of bad news is that this is all going to lead to a heart transplant, a liver transplant, or a kidney transplant. All three will need to be done if I make it that far, but the most important ones are going to be heart and kidneys. The game plan is to try and hold off on doing kidney transplants as long as possible, and to hold off on a heart transplant as long as possible. We do that by basically watching and waiting. I go through tests. We're doing it every 6 months now, which is to look at the performance of the heart, both normally and under exercise or duress, a workout till failure, or a workout until fatigue, that sort of thing. It's a stress test that basically runs you on a treadmill at an ever-increasing incline until failure, the point of failure, and it's just torturous. But by doing that, we can look at my heart, how it performs during exercise or right after exercise. That leads us to our, basically my last checkup, which is to say my heart is doing okay. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Generally speaking, when I'm not exercising, it's doing all right. There is pumping and efficiency loss, but my heart has recovered pretty well from the disaster that it was in December. A lot of that is to do with the medication regimen that I'm on and the exercise regimen that I've been doing. During exercise, and because of all the cardio and riding that I've been doing, my heart is actually doing very well when it comes to exercise. The pumping efficiency actually improves, which is good. That's a good sign. And it's a good sign to keep on doing those exercises, to keep riding my bike, etc. What does that mean, I guess? Well, it means that for now, things are doing pretty good. I won't say they're great, but they're doing really good. This is as healthy as I'm going to be for the foreseeable future. And every day or every week or every month, my health will continue to decline, however little much that is, until I start to need transplants. And then even post-transplant, my health will continue to decline for other reasons related to those transplants. Knowing this ahead of time, the time I have left is extremely valuable. And now I know that. So I can do things like race and drive my cars as much as I can. I can travel as much as I have the ability to travel once it opens up again. I may look forward to, we'll say, an early retirement. That's not really a fair say. I may have as little as 4 or 5 years left, or as many as 20 years left. It's really a gamble as to how well I can continue to manage my health. It's kind of a gamble as to when I do my transplants, what level of rejection those transplants get. There's always some. There could be a high rejection or a low rejection. It's really just a shot in the dark as to whose organs available at the time and how well they are a fit for me. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I just wanted to give you guys an update and an honest update, kind of what led up to this point and where we're going from here. As long as my health continues to do well, I'm going to continue to probably buy and drive all of my cars as much as I can. I'd like to get away from the process of building. There are a couple exceptions, but I want to spend more of my time driving, having adventures, that sort of thing, understandably, while I still can. And so in the coming year or years, I'm going to look forward to doing just that. So yeah, there it is. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody for their comments on the videos and concerns. Everyone who reached out while I was in the hospital or going through recovery, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube comments, all of that meant the world to me. All the well wishes, not just from friends and folks and strangers, but vendors, businesses, everyone who's reached out from social media teams. That really does mean a lot. It's invisible to most, but there's, it means the world to me that that you would reach out. So thank you to everybody for all your comments and well wishes. I read all of them, and it means a lot to me. So with that, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys on the next one.